Okay, let's dive into a classic fairy tale. This is one you probably think you remember from childhood, but I guarantee it's way darker and a lot more cunning than the version you know. This isn't just a simple story, it's a tale of clever deception, terrifying consequences, and, well, a truly brutal form of justice. I mean, really think about it. So many of the stories we heard as kids have these surprisingly grim origins, packed with real danger. And this one? This one is a perfect example of just how high the stakes can be. We're talking cunning disguises, a terrifying home invasion, and some very, very creative revenge. All right, so our story kicks off with a mother goat who has to leave her kids at home, but not before she gives them a very specific and very urgent warning. So picture this. She's got to head into the forest to get some food, but she knows there's a predator lurking nearby. So she gathers her 7 children and tells them, "Whatever you do, be on your guard against the big bad wolf." And she gives them 2 absolutely crucial life-saving signs to look for. She says, look, that wolf is a master of disguise, but there are 2 things he can't hide: his rough, gruff voice and his big black feet. These 2 details, that's their only line of defense. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because the wolf isn't just evil, he's smart. And as you're about to see, he actually learns from his mistakes. His first attempt is a total failure, but that only makes him more determined. And sure enough, just after their mother leaves, there's a knock at the door. The wolf tries to imitate her voice, but the kids, they hear that rough sound right away and shout, "No way, you're not our mother, you're the wolf." So, the wolf goes and finds a really bizarre solution. He finds a shopkeeper and literally eats a huge lump of chalk to make his voice all soft and high-pitched. He's corrected his first mistake, and now he goes back for round 2, this time sounding much more convincing. But these kids are still way too smart for him. He might sound like their mother now, but they remember that second warning. They tell him to show his paws, and when he puts those big black paws on the windowsill, busted again. They refuse to let him in. You have to admit, this wolf is persistent. He does not give up. Instead, he escalates everything. He goes and threatens a baker to smear dough all over his feet, and then he threatens a miller to cover them in white flour. By now, he has perfected his impersonation. So now, with his soft voice and his white paws, the wolf's disguise is complete. His third attempt is tragically successful. The kids unbolt the door. And the moment that door opens, it's just pure chaos. The poor kids scatter, scrambling to hide in the most desperate places they can possibly find. Under the table, in the stove, under a washing bowl, and one even crams himself into the big grandfather clock. But the wolf is absolutely relentless. He finds them one by one and just swallows them whole, one right after the other. In a flash, 6 of the kids are gone. It's just a swift and horrifying turn of events. But this right here is the crucial turning point of the whole story. The wolf missed one. The youngest kid, hidden safely away inside that clock case, was not found. And that one lone survivor is the family's only hope. So, can you imagine? The mother goat returns home and walks into an absolute nightmare. The house is a wreck, and her children are nowhere to be seen. Well, after the youngest kid pops out and explains what happened, she goes outside and finds the wolf fast asleep, snoring his head off. But as she looks at him, she sees something moving and struggling inside his bloated stomach. And that sparks this desperate, almost unbelievable hope. Now, what follows is less of a simple rescue and more of a cold, calculated, and frankly, pretty gruesome act of revenge. She performs this impromptu surgery, cutting open the sleeping wolf, pulling out all 6 of her children completely unharmed, and then she fills his stomach with big, heavy stones before sewing him right back up. The wolf finally wakes up from his nap, feeling maybe a little stuffed, but completely unaware of the gruesome operation that was just performed on him. As he starts to walk around, he's totally confused by this weird rattling and rumbling coming from his own stomach. He actually thinks to himself that it can't possibly be the kids. It feels more like heavy stones knocking against his ribs. All those stones are making him incredibly thirsty, so he stumbles over to a nearby well to get a drink. But the second he leans over the edge, that's it. The immense weight in his stomach pulls him right in, and he tumbles into the water, drowning miserably. Seeing their plan work perfectly, the 7 kids and their mother all come running out, and they literally dance for joy around the well, celebrating that the creature who threatened them is finally gone. So, what are we supposed to take away from all this? Is it just a simple lesson for children about listening to their parents? Or is it a much darker, much more complex tale about how far a mother will go to protect and to avenge her family? The most chilling part is that it might just be both.